Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we're going to be bagging up some more of my collection of vintage publisher catalogues, bookmarks, order forms, that sort of thing. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay then, so a bit of a mixture. It's going to be predominantly Penguin stuff because that's what I've got the most of. But I have got other bits and pieces, which is like this, which is Papermax, which was it was a little Macmillan offshoot. And I've sorted the stuff out into small, medium and large piles, and I'm hoping that, we're going to do all the small stuff first of all. The only thing I'm not really going to be able to do is the really big stuff. Now that's actually too short, so that needs to go in a comic bag. I haven't been able to track down any tabloid sized bags, and that is a bit of a shame, but I've had a good look online, and I've even asked a collector friend of mine who has got quite a collection of tabloid stuff, and he hasn't, the wholesalers that he used is also out of tabloid bags and in fact boards, because I do need a few boards as well. The thing is, I don't need 100 of them, I just need about 25, something like that. And I mean, I'm happy to take 100 if that's all that's available, but at the same time, they just don't seem to be out there. So if anyone, if you're watching this and the video's not been out too long, so the information is valuable and valid, do please get in touch, because I'd like to know if you could find somewhere online which is selling tabloid size bags at the moment, and ideally boards as well, because they are proving a little bit elusive at the moment. Yeah, this Papermax one, I think that came in a little collection. It probably came along with this one because this is the same sort of period here, a paperback parade from spring '67. I don't think it's lots of different publishers. There's Panthers there, some Corgis. Yeah, it's just books that were published in 1967. Really nice little catalogue in actual fact. And look, the bookseller was Paperback Parade Limited, and there was 3 shops, so maybe that was produced, for a particular chain of bookshops back in the day, which is quite nice. This one should fit in an ordinary, just about into an ordinary paperback bag there. Now, I did consider, when I was at the London Paperback Show, I picked up a binder, and the binder is quite a large, it's really nice leather binder, and it's got all different sorts of sleeve pockets in it, and I picked it up specifically to put some London tube maps in, of which I've got a small collection back to the sort of the 70s, and I think maybe a couple from the 50s, but predominantly the more modern tube maps from 2000 up. And that is actually very similar dimensions to one of the classic tube maps, where it's like folded into 3, it's concertinaed out, but I'd rather keep all my sort of paperback related stuff together if I can. Now this is quite nice. This is a very old copy of the book collector, look, Winter 1952, and already there's a little short there's 3 essays on collecting Penguin books, if you can believe it. And at the time, Penguin were still quite a young publisher. They were 17 years old at that point. So yeah, don't often see, it's probably one of the earliest things on collecting penguins that there are. There we are. So yeah, quite a nice little book that. Now I suspect, looking at the size of it, it's a bit like a digest, and I do have these digest size bags. So I'm hoping, I think that'll be absolutely perfect by the look of it. Yeah, I think that's quite a rarity, this one here. Don't know for sure, it's just my own guess, but I've never seen another one. But I'm sure there's probably runs of the original Book Collector magazine out there. Such a shame that the modern Book and Magazine Collector folded, but I think it was just everything had moved online, hadn't it? Simple as that. But as I said, I was thinking I was going to get all this done in like 2 videos, but that's just not possible. It's going to be 3 now. And as I said, I'll wait till I get the tabloid bags to finish it off. This is quite nice. This is a little guide to the Rough Guide to Picture Books. And Rough Guide, of course, are owned by Penguin. They're part of the Penguin Group. And this one, once again, will be perfect in a digest size bag. Just slightly wider than a regular A format. I think this one was possibly distributed through Waterstones. I can't quite remember. I've got quite a comprehensive well, not a spreadsheet, but I've got a list of all the sort of stuff that I've got, and I've had to break it down by year. That's the only way to sort of keep a track of it. And it's proven quite successful when I'm finding stuff online or looking at the old catalogue and there's stuff listed. I can see at a glance if it's something that I'm looking for or not. This is a thin little one. This one actually, this is once again, it was a Waterstones one, but as I recall, yeah, look, front cover design, Coralie Bickford Smith. And of course, Coralie Bickford Smith went on to design the beautiful Penguin cloth band classics, which I very much enjoy those. This is quite nice, isn't it? So that's an early Bickford Smith collectible, you could say. I'd still like to get to interview her if I can. I think the best plan would be, I think she lives sort of around the Bath way. Maybe is to try and meet her at a signing, maybe. I think that would be the best bet. And catch her after that, possibly. But yeah, I'm a big fan of her Penguin designs. I think they're great. I do love the cloth bound classics. Well, that's absolutely fine, isn't it? Now, this next one's actually an early one. So this is 1951, I think it is, possibly. No, I don't know, maybe slightly later. It might be 60, 61, I think it is in actual fact. It's got a beautiful quote at the start, which I thought very appropriate for this video. Look. Those who do not consult a Penguin catalogue are missing something precisely necessary to their own particular enthusiasms and studies. The Times Literary Supplement. What a great quote that is for a Penguin catalogue, don't you think? Quite funny since I've, been collecting old Penguin catalogues for, well, a few decades now, Yeah, I thought that was a really, really nice quote inside that one. I was having a look through it a bit earlier today. And yeah, I've never seen that one before. I don't even think I've even seen a picture of it before. So I'm guessing it's quite scarce, that one. And this is one that I've had for a while. This is the Story of Puffin books. So one of my very old Mylar setups from a while back. So we get a shot of that. Sally Gritton. It's like a little history of Puffin. Honestly, can't remember when I got this one. Or who even published. We've got the Puffin 50 there, so maybe it came out for Puffin's 50th. But it's A format, so it should go in one of these without any trouble at all. Yeah, there we are. But I gotta admit, I do love collecting this sort of bookshop memorabilia and paraphernalia, ephemera, you could say, connected to the publishers. Now, all of this stuff here is like single sheet stuff, which I actually had out last time. So I'm going to just keep it all together, and I am going to put that in those sleeves I just mentioned that I bought for the tube maps. I bought some for different sizes. I think because these are very thin, like single sheets of paper or postcards, I don't think they'd be best served by being bagged individually. I'll sort of stick to the more substantial sort of catalogues and that. So this is actually a nice one. It's a beautiful one. This was produced in 1950 for the King. Yeah, 1950 for the King Penguin list at the time, and it even comes with a couple of. Well, it's got a little bookmark there, and it's got a couple. A specimen page. Look at that. So you could see the beautiful colour plates inside. Look at that. So that's like the complete sort of package there, including the bookmarks. So I'm going to keep all that together. Like that. A beautiful catalogue, that one. Tends to go for about a tenner if you can find one. I haven't actually seen one for sale in ages, so Not sure how scarce that one would be, but it's the sort of thing I think that would have been kept. If you were at all into the Penguin books, you would have kept that catalogue, wouldn't you? You wouldn't have got rid of it. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. That very, very nice indeed. Okay, so this is a slightly more modern one, listing of the Penguin Modern Classics in that little format. Doesn't give you much about the books. It is literally just a listing for £1. So it is what it is, isn't it? You know, I've got an equivalent one, I think, for the Penguin Modern Classics, although I haven't seen it in this pile today, but we may still come across it. I suspect it may be tucked away with the because Penguin did a little run of mini modern classics at like £1 each, didn't they? And I think it's shelved with those, so but that's fine. That just gives it a bit of protection. Now these are quite nice. These are oh, there's a little Heifer's bookmark, so I'll put that with the bookmarks I've got over there. These are, well, this is a cloth sleeve here, and this is completely bootleg. This would have been produced during the war to put a Penguin book in and house it, so that, you know, it was a bit more robust when you were reading it. But that has just been put on afterwards. It is completely made up, as it were. This is an actual official reading case, and I am after some more of these, but when they turn up I always seem to be too late, or I don't get the heads up about them. This is a biography one, but it's got a very faded spine. They did release them for all the colours, so there's like crime ones, and there's red ones, there's fiction, so there's a green one, definitely. I'd love to get some more, but they you know, and definitely upgrade that one, but they just I said, I just seem to get bad luck. Now that's a bit too wide for that, so I'm going to pop it in a digest bag, I think, instead. You can see it's got damp at some point as well, so it's not in the greatest of shape, but at the same time, you know, they don't really turn up very often. But, you know, for really nice ones of these, I'd be willing to pay like £10 each. So if anyone's got any out there, some of the different colours, and a better one of the blue one here, I'd definitely pay up to £10 each for them. Because I think these are from like the late 30s, possibly early 40s, I don't know. I said this one's definitely just a bootleg, produced during the war, and it was not produced by Penguin themselves, whereas that one was, of course. Yeah, it's just a bit too tight to go in that bag. Now I will put a link to the bags in the description down below, so if you want to get any of these dedicated paperback bags, you can. They are available on Amazon. Rarely available on eBay, but they are available on Amazon. And as I think I mentioned last time, my friend Dorset Bob is looking at import. He's already imported some, but they worked out a little bit too expensive to really be competitive. So we're looking at importing a lot more in bigger numbers, like a few hundred packets, so it will get the price down a bit. But yeah, there we are. So it's quite nice. It doesn't look too bad when it's been bagged up. See that one? I know we were speaking of book and magazine collector, and here is three of them, and these were all Penguin related ones. I think this was the first time Penguin got covered, and it was for July '95, which was the 60th rather anniversary of Penguin. Now they look a bit too wide for a digest bag, so I think we're going to need three comic bags on that one for these three, and they're nothing mega valuable, so I'm just going to use just regular comic bags here. These are Ultra Pro ones. They're pretty nice, but they're not like the really shiny Mylite ones, which are beautiful but expensive, you know. But I think these will be absolutely fine for these. I never ever refer to them anymore, because the information, the bibliographies is always good, with an author. But the actual pricing is woefully out of date, and you just need to, you can find it all online now. But of course, this one here especially would have been done before online was even a thing, Well, the internet was, of course, around in 95, but not to the extent that you can just look stuff up today. But it's all part of the Penguin story and Penguin history, so definitely worth preserving these as part of my Penguin collection. There we are. And then the last one, this is 2010, when they did Collecting Early Penguin Crime, was in that one. Once again, the prices were well out, but that was 14 years ago now. And times have very much changed, haven't they, for this sort of stuff? Particularly modern paperbacks. So I had just in Marriott down last week, the paperback fanatic publisher. Been writing about vintage paperbacks for over 25 years. Big collector himself, and we're having there'll be a whole series of videos coming out with him in quite soon. We filmed 3 last week. We were discussing prices of books and how things have got a little bit crazy. So this is the Book of Penguin. Now this was internal, but some copies were slipped out to the trade, and that's how I got mine, through a Penguin rep. He gave me a copy of this. It's really nice. It's a history of Penguin. Absolutely gorgeous. If you can track one of these down, they are super nice. I did have a couple. I've got rid of one. I saved my one really nice one here, and I'm going to put it in a, because it's so nice, I'm actually going to put it in my light. I'm going to really push the boat out on this. They tend to go for about £10 to £15 now. These, the Book of Penguin. So bear that in mind, but you will not regret it. It's got everything in it, and as I said, it's I don't know how many were produced, but it was only in-house, so it's one to sort of keep an eye out for. I think it was about 2011 it came out, something like that, maybe a little bit later. But definitely a nice publication, that, and one I'm sure you'll want to track down. These mylights are super shiny, but they are archive safe, so these are used in museums, but they're also quite tough to work with because they're so unflexible, as it were. But look at that looks really, really nice. It's an absolute beauty, that. So yeah, look out for that, the Book of Penguin. Quite a scarcity. Unlike something like this, which is much more common. In fact, this was a freebie from Waterstones. I think I was actually working for Waterstones at the time, and we got sent like shrink wraps of them, like literally, a few hundred. And we would bag stuff them, as they call it. We put them into customers' bags when they bought any Penguin book, I think it was. And I think that was the way we got rid of them in the end. But it was almost like you were receiving extra books. And I would love going in a bookshop and ended up picking up something like this when I was buying my book. It just made it, it was worthwhile going to the bookshop because it was something that you got for free. It's just something like that just doesn't happen when you buy a book from Amazon, does it? I mean, it really doesn't. It's only something that you can get from a bookshop, and it's perhaps something that's disappeared nowadays. Another Penguin Classics catalogue, 94.95 on here. That's got a Dorothy Dunnett postcard and Michael Joseph. I shall put that. I have got a little wedge of postcards, so I'm going to pop it with them because all the sort of penguin related postcards I will eventually get filed away. But I'll put them all together. It's funny what you're finding when you're actually going through this stuff, you know. I will just fold that over, make it look a little bit smarter. No, it's not going to be another hour and a half video, I don't think. As I said, I'm only going to concentrate on the slightly smaller stuff today because I don't think I've got the bag for a lot of the later stuff. This is quite nice, a bit of a controversial cover as well, the Penguin Classics catalogue. Can't remember what year it was. Once again, it's just a listing really, rather than giving you much info. It was 2013, but once again, quite a distinctive one. Yeah, that's all right. This is nice, like the Puffin handbook. Gorgeous little book, this. Absolutely gorgeous. 70 years of Puffin. Very, very nicely produced this, and this was given away. Look at all the content in there. If I was a kid and I was given something like that, I would have been all over that. Absolutely gorgeous. Very, very nice indeed. Yeah, 70 years of Puffin, that one. There we are. Yeah, that's a real nice one. That's definitely worth keeping your eyes peeled for, that one. Here's another one. This is like the companion to the Classics catalogue. This is the 20th Century Classics, so Penguin Modern Classics. And see, this is great because you've got a picture of each book plus a little synopsis or a quote or something like that, something a little bit about it. That's how the catalogues should be done. Of course, the list is probably a lot greater nowadays than it was when that was published 30 years ago. Amazingly, I can remember getting those in and giving them out in the bookshops back in the day. Thankfully, I kept one of each for myself. So, yeah, very nice. I'm going to fold the edge over, yeah. Just sometimes they look a little bit neater with the edges folded over as opposed to loose. Just sometimes. Yeah, that looks a little bit better now. Here's another one, a variation on a theme. They did so many of these. They didn't do like one every year or anything like that, but they did do quite a few over the years, you know. So again, I'm guessing these are a little bit too... I'll just double check they won't go into an A format. They just look a little bit too wide to me. Yeah, they're not going to. No, so that's fine. Sometimes the eye deceives. But not in this case. There we are. Lovely, lovely. And then we got another one. It's quite heavy, this one. This is classics and modern classics, so it's both together. I think this is the only catalogue I've got which has got both of them in. And I think it's a bit more recent. This is like, well, probably in the last 10 years, possibly this one came out. But yeah, quite nice. Nice glossy paper. Nice back cover there with all the jackets on, or a selection of jackets on, I should say. Right, the next thing, I got some of these. These are like Penguin branded. You can see the Penguin logo there. They're branded book protectors. And I got, these are like, you can see you pop your Penguin in there like that. And these would flop around the covers. So I've got a little selection here. These are all actual Penguin branded ones. It's 3, 4. So I've got 5 clear ones. I've got, these are very similar. I've got a blue one, a green one, and a red one. I think these are 60s, maybe late 50s into the 1960s. When did these sort of plastic covers even become available? I'm not sure, you know. So I'm not sure the best way to bag these. I mean, I could just put them in a comic bag with a board against them. Well, that doesn't look very good, does it? Shows how yellow they are. But it does give them a bit of stiffness. I think that probably is the best way to do it, in all honesty. So let's get these bags. I think they'll fit in a comic bag okay. Actually, they're a bit too narrow, these comic bags. I'm going to need to put them in a magazine bag. That's okay. So I've got some mag bags here. So let's have a little experiment. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to do 2 lots. So I'm going to put them in a, actually I've got some slightly wider boards here. So that, I'm going to put those like that. And I'll put this one on the back side. Like so. Because they don't really need to be individually bagged. So we can see what we've got. And then I shall do the same with the other 2 that I've got the different colours. Although I have actually got one other one, which is an Australian one, which is completely different again. But that's all right. Well, it keeps them nice and tidy. As I said, I've got one more here. These are big, thick bits of cardboard, very, very sturdy. So I'll put the green one in there and the blue one on the back. So at least I can see what I've actually got. And it keeps them nice and tidy, doesn't it? Which is what this is all about. It's a bit of a... I had all this stuff sort of floating around loose in my collection, and it was long overdue to be sort of sorted, catalogue, which I have done. I've catalogued all of this on my computer, and just get the stuff looking as nice as possible. Which I think you'll agree, it looks a lot better now. Yeah, if you got any of those cloth ones though, the cloth Penguin covers, I'd be very interested in those. I don't know if there's a definitive even list of what was produced, but I'm pretty sure it was all the main sort of Penguin colours of the time, you know? Pretty sure it was. Right, now we are on to the slightly bigger stuff, but I think we're going to be quite limited with what we can actually do now. but we'll do what we can. So this is from Penguin's 60th anniversary. That there actually had a little chocolate in it, a gold chocolate, gold wrapped chocolate. And these are some proof covers for the Penguin 60s. Do you remember those? I loved them. I loved them. We had a big dump bin of them in the shop, and wish I'd kept the dump. I don't think I've got it, but I think we got rid of the dump bin header. There's a little bit of the gold packet. Oh yeah, there it is. It would have been a little chocolate on that. Anyway, yeah, that was the Penguin set. That would have been the header there, but the dump bin was massive. It was huge, but we had one. We had one in the shop, and yeah, 60p. We sold quite a few of them, as you can imagine. What a great promotional tool. But of course, what happened was not all the other publishers, but some of the other publishers started to get in on the act because they were selling millions of these Penguin 60s. I think Everyman started doing some, and some of the other publishers, and it sort of muddied the waters a little bit, and then they weren't quite as special as they used to be, which was a bit of a shame. Right, so I'm tempted to put a comic board in this, just to keep this, because it is a bit flimsy, just to keep that sort of flat, you know. But what that does mean is I can put these proofs on the back, proof jackets on the back. I choose which one I want to display. Which one is my favourite? Edgar Allan Poe. Yes, that'll be lovely. Slide that. These are just some sample jackets at the time. I've got quite a bit of a Penguin 60th because I was a bookseller at the time in '95, and I did various window displays. I remember entering a Penguin competition to do a window display, and I sort of did a chronological history of Penguin. Sadly, we didn't win the holiday, but we did get a lot of POS from Penguin on the back of it, so that was quite nice. Right, now I don't know if I have anything. I think it's a Penguin bag. This is 1985. This is a Penguin paper bag. I mean, this is in train spotter land now, and if we weren't already, we definitely are now. Now, let's see. Is that gonna... See, it's not quite tall enough, but I have got one of the slightly bigger bits of cardboard here. I'm wondering if that's gonna help out. Let's see. It's a shame because I'd like to show both sides of it, but this is a paper bag and it really sort of does need stiffener. The thing is, it's not quite. If I put it in a bag like that, the top end is going to get folded over. So I'm going to leave this for now because I've got quite a bit of other much bigger stuff to bag up, which we'll get round to eventually. So in fact, I've got some of it here because I've sorted a lot of this into price piles. So all of this is of a size which is a little bit too... It's similar. It's like a bit too big for a magazine bag, or for a magazine bag without a proper board in. And I shall wait until I've got the correct boards for those. But I've got a few other bits and pieces we can do. So this next bit is actually quite special. So let's have a look. This is a letter from Pan. So it's look at this. Look, M.Y.C. Harrison. Now I don't know who that author is, but it's dated 29th of June 1973, and it's from Herbert Van Thal, who you may remember from the Pan Book of Horror fame. He signed his signature Bertie. That was his nickname. Look at this. Thank you for your letter of the 25th of June. I have passed your acceptance on to Pan. There's no immediate rush for the next Pan Book of Horror stories. Say the end of the year. I hope you enjoy your trip to the States. How nice is that? Look at that. A little letter from, Herbert Van Thal, who was evidently working for London Management. So it is sort of Pan related, isn't it? And nice to have, admittedly, abbreviated Herbert Van Thal's signature. Now, I'd like to keep that nice and flat. So I'm thinking if we get... And it is single-sided. Look at that, that's perfect, isn't it? So I'm going to have it like that, and I think I'm going to put that, because it's something quite special, I'm going to put that in a Mylar sleeve. So not a Mylight, but an actual sort of dedicated miler sleeve that you might put a comic in. So it's something a little bit more unusual. So these are archive quality, so it should look rather nice. But a bit like last time, we've ended up getting stuff literally everywhere. Look at that. So it keeps it nice and sturdy, but it's also at the same time makes it look really, really lovely. So that's gorgeous. So that's excellent. Right, so this has to go to one side. Let me, I'm going to pause there and just clear the decks a bit. Right, so this is quite nice. So this is New Books from Pan, dated January 1972. Quite nice. It's got Towards Infinity there, and Earl Stanley Gardner. It's just a double sheet there, Piccolo. Who knows where that's come from? But what I thought I'd do, because once again it's quite nice with the logo on, I'm going to put it back to back in a miler sleeve, you see. I think that'll be rather gorgeous. Slide that bit in like that, and then have it over this way as well. And hopefully that'll look quite nice. Yeah, look at that. I'm just going to keep that in place with a bit of luck. I'll try and get it a little bit more central. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, I'd say that's can't be many of those around, can there? I wouldn't have thought. So that's quite nice. And I've got one other catalogue we can do today as well, which is this one. This is a Hodder catalogue from the 60s, I think. Yeah, look at the Paperback Parade. It's from that same shop. I think this is, yeah, it's on 2 and 6. I'm pretty sure this is 1967, 68, 69. That sort of a period. Quite gorgeous. I don't think it's the only Hodder catalogue I've got, as far as I know. I'm going to stick this one in my light. No, I'm not. I don't think it's going to be big enough. Let's have a look. That's a shame. Is it going to go in? No. Oh, that's a shame. It's just a tiny bit too tight. Oh, well, it can't force it. So I think it would be the same case with a miler sleeve, to be honest. In which case, the only option I've got for it is to slide it into a normal magazine bag. I think it'll go in that. No, it won't. It's not big enough. So that, once again, it was all looking good, but no, that's also going to have to go when I bag up the big stuff. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to finish on then was all those little bits and pieces and bookmarks and stuff like that. So I'll get those into that binder now. Okay, so at the last London Paperback show, there was a whole dealer, and they had these really nice albums, the ring binder albums, and they had a whole range of sleeves to go in them. Now, I bought this album because predominantly I want to be putting in my my vintage tube maps, but there's some which are in doubles, there's some which are triples, which I thought for the folded up tube maps, so I've got a couple of packets of those, and also for ones which are going to be single sheet. And each sleeve comes with like a black background. So what I'm thinking of doing, I've got like, you know, bookmarks and things like that, which I'd like to perhaps stick in the folders like that. Now, some of them are quite long, like that one. Oh, it'll still fit in okay. So I've got a little batch of vintage bookmarks to go in. And then in these doubles, I have got some stuff which is like, some of it's postcard size, some of it is a bit like that, which is going to be a little bit bigger. So I'm thinking, here's a smaller bit, for example. I might be able to get two either side, or just the one in there, you know. I mean, I've not got loads of stuff, but I think we've got enough sleeves to be able to do them all. So I think we'll start with the vintage bookmarks first of all, because I've got a fair few to get through. So I'll just open up this pack and we'll get weaving. Okay then, so I don't suppose it matters too much what order they go in, but in a way I'd like to get them sort of chronological if I can, you know. But that's going to be a bit of a tall order, I think. But I can always swap them around and stuff as we go along. This is quite nice. This is a really funky one. Look, it's for Picador, which I have started picking out, the Picador B format, and it's from 1982, which would have been their 10th year as an imprint. So I think that's probably why that was produced. And that's going to fit in there just lovely. So I think what we'll do, initially I'm going to do the non-penguin stuff. So these ones here, they slide in like that into these folders. And I'll try and put them, I think it would be nice to have them sort of centered in the middle of each bit. Like so. But we can also put stuff on the back as well. So the back would have to go on that way. So we'll do the front. We'll just see how easy. It's going to be a little bit of trying out. Now heifers, I've actually got a few heifers, so I might leave them to the end. I think I've got maybe 3 different ones. It's quite nice. It's the news of the world. It actually seems quite loose. So I think in actual fact, I'm going to need to put these down below because I think they might slide around a little bit. So that might be a little bit neater anyway. This one isn't even book related, but it's quite nice. It's the... It was, I think, the launch of the National Health Service in the UK, which is pretty nice. Or certainly something along those lines, you know. So slide that one in there, like so. And then some of these I've got doubles of now. Let's see if the rest of these are all sort of penguin or not. Oh no, there's those heifer ones I was telling you about. So these are from Heifer's, the book chain. And I've got, see, those are different because there's 2 different addresses on them. Those 2 are the same. That's actually a double. And this one, oh, I've actually got 2 of each one and 1 of that one. So, well, there you go. And these have just obviously turned up in books. You know, they just turned up in Penguin books that I found. So I guess I'll have to slide it in like that and push it down. And there it will be. Fair enough. That seems to be okay. Might as well go double-sided because I don't want to waste the space, do we? It's a little bit confusing sliding them in the right way. Need to be round like that. And we go in this way, like so. I think the 2, maybe should have done these doubles first, maybe, but there you go. There we go. Doesn't look very neat, does it? Or maybe they can just be one on top of the other. That's a bit of a shame. The sleeves aren't tight enough like traditional, say, trading card sleeves to keep the things really tight. I guess it's just because of the size of them more than anything else. But that doesn't look too bad, does it? And then we've got these other ones here, which appear to be the earliest ones of all. They've got a slightly older design, haven't they? So I think we've got them in the right order. These you can get in from the top here, like so. There we are. Now I want them. These little ones have slipped down a bit. Oh, it's not going to be easy, is it? We go that way, don't we? Yeah, this is a fiddly job, I'll tell you that. But that looks a bit better, doesn't it? There we go. Once they're in the album, the binder rather, I think they'll look quite nice. So that's those done. Now the rest I think are all penguin, I think. So we just do one per sleeve. And let's see. I got a few. I've got loads of vintage ones, but these. I think this is possibly the earliest one I've got, actually. So I've got 2 copies of it again. It is a really nice one. It was a Feast of Penguins. It was produced in 1960 for their 25th anniversary. So that's what this one was for. Now, it's actually quite nice because it's got a little list of books on the inside, but I wouldn't be able to have it like that. So, yeah, in fact, it's got a little 25 on there. So I think because these are exactly the same, I can just slide those just in like that. This is my least favourite penguin bookmark. Slightly later, Presentable Penguins. Not a fan of that one. I don't mind telling you. They go in like that. And what else have we got here? It's a nice little Ernest Hemingway one there. Islands in the Stream. So I have to go in underneath, like so. Quite like that one. They did quite a bit of publicity for Hemingway, didn't they, Penguin? So that's them tucked away. New English Bible. To be published 14th of March 1964. Well, hey. A Penguin English Dictionary. Yeah, these sleeves are actually a little bit more fiddlier than I thought they were going to be. But we're okay. We will persevere. There's one for War and Peace, which is about, I think that was about 1970. I think that's a TV tie-in, that one actually. I think. But there we are. That's another few done. They're all right, aren't they? Except those ones there are all the wrong way around. Can you believe it? They're upside down. They need to be round that way. Thankfully, it's a quick fix. But how annoying. How annoying. There we are, like that. There we are, because they're going to be in the booklet like that, so we want them all to be roughly the same way, don't we? Right, I think just one more sheet will do for the bookmarks at least. Yeah, so it's going to be that way round. And this one's much more recent. This new Penguin Penguin English Library, rather. And this one is look at that, Penguin Celebrations. There are quite a few of those. So I want to sort of get them in, a whole lot in really, if I can. A bit thick, but they do fit. There we are. Oh, that's not going to sit very well, is it? Because they're in the packet. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to leave them separate and just put the one in there for display purposes. I've got a few of these. They were sort of modern authors done in the mock penguin style, but I wasn't a massive fan. These are from China, yeah. Penguin Books, 5 Years in China. And the bookmarks themselves are exquisite. And they actually fit together to make the Great Wall of China. They fit together. Very, very nice indeed. I can't remember for the life of me where I got them. I might have been given them somehow, but really nice. Really, really nice indeed. Okay. So that's those. Now, we've got some other penguin-related bits and pieces which may or may not fit in these. It may be that we need to put them in the doubles. But anything that's thin enough, I will put in here. Now that is a bit too big, so that's not going to be any good. That one should go in all right. This is a little card. So let's see if we can get this one open. This is the sort of thing that you'd find inside a Penguin book, of course, in a paperback or something like that. Just like to mail away, get the latest catalogue, that sort of thing. I think this dates from about 1937, something along those lines. But that should go in okay. Now we want it around, maybe down like that. No, they're falling out, aren't they? I think it'll be okay once these are in booklets, in the binder rather, but they're not great when they're loose, when you're filling them up. So I think that has to go in that way round, like so. Yeah, that keeps falling out. That's quite annoying, that. But I think it should be okay when it's just in the booklet. So that's that one. Right. That's a bit too big as well, this one here. Over this little one. This looks fairly narrow, so I think this will go in okay. Where on earth would you put all this? You put it in a Penguin Isocon Donkey, of course. Mark II. Yeah, I keep meaning to get one of these, but I've resisted because a few have sort of come under my radar, and I thought, oh, shall I get one now? But you know, for a good price, but I just haven't got anywhere for it. I'd literally have it and be falling over it, so I've resisted the temptation to buy one so far, anyway. Right, this is a little. Yeah, that fits in okay. This is once again, it's a little business reply form to order penguins, and some of them's actually. That one's been scrubbed out. The Incredible Adventures of Professor Brainstorm, evidently out of stock, I reckon. You know, so but that should go in all right. I think there's just enough room. Yep, there we are. That's another page done, and it's all sort of, you know, ephemera. Really, that's exactly what you would call this, isn't it? Ephemera. An exhibition of penguin books. Let's get another sheet. Yeah, and that's going to go in okay. And we need to have it in that way round. So that'll be the first page. So we go around this way. Yeah, quite scarce, that little booklet. Now the rest of it, I think, is all postcard size. So in which case, we haven't got anything else to put in there. Yeah. All of that is more postcard size. So that's it for the time being, with bits of ephemera, which is, there we are, they're falling out again, which is slightly thinner, and bookmarks and things like that. So I think they look very nice. So I'll pop them in the album, and we'll have a consideration about these. Right, the last little bit now, and I'm just going to put these slightly larger pieces into these doubles here. Make sure I got them around the right way. Yeah, they look pretty good. So I can get 4 bits of ephemera per sleeve, as it were. So you get quite a lot in for your money here, you know. Slide that in there. That was to get your penguin bookcase, which I do actually have one of those, a Beaver and Tapley bookcase. And there's another little advert for an Isocon Donkey, which is that lovely 60s bookcase there, which I've still yet to get, but I will get one. It is on my list. There's that. And then on the back side here, we've got a couple done by the Collectors Society. I must dig that out. I've got that poster there framed up. It's massive. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Got nowhere to stick it though at the moment. That is the slight drawback. Right. So we next have these ones. So these were done for Penguin's 60th. They were promotional ones from 1995. There's some classic images with people with penguins. My absolute favourite, the Jimi Hendrix one. Just love that one. That was the odd one that we found just now, wasn't it? It's 1994, Dorothy done it. Okay. That's those. Now we got the Peter Ackroyds. So we've got 4 of those, so they can all go in one sleeve quite nicely. Yeah, so I will do one final video bagging up these bits and pieces, but I'm going to have to wait until I got the tabloid bags and the magazine size boards, really. So until then, they're just going to have to hold fire. I have also got some some Pan bookmarks and stuff which are going to need going in these, but they're sort of in the midst of my Pan collection. So I've got some little Pan records and stuff, so all of that will get the same sort of treatment in due course. Then we got, to finish on today, we got 4 Graham Greens in Penguin Modern Classics livery, so a nice way to finish, I do believe. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that this little bagging video. It's been a while, hasn't it, since we've done one. As I said, it wasn't quite finishing off everything that I was hoping to do, but we've not done bad, have we, really? Got a fair bit done. And the actual pieces themselves look absolutely lovely, which is what it's all about. Wait, no, that needs to go around. Trying to get them all around the right way. It needs to go around that way. It's like working in a mirror. My favourite of all there, Brighton Rock by Graham Greene. Closely followed by Armand in Havana. That's my 2 favourites. Anyway, there we are. So I hope you enjoyed looking through that. In fact, before I go, let's just have a little look of these in situ in the album, shall we? So, because we might as well see our handiwork, as it were. You can see why these albums are so versatile. And as I said, I will be putting my tube maps in these in the next couple of weeks or so once I've dug them out. But yeah, having a little look through, they should be looking quite nice now. So let's see if we can get them all in here. Just about. They're all right, aren't they? It's a good way, I think, to keep your ephemera, in actual fact. With room to expand. Lovely. They're really nice. Really, really nice. So yeah, so there you go. Hope you've enjoyed that little video today. If you have, do please give it the thumbs up. Do please hit the subscribe button if you've not already for regular vintage paperback action. And I shall look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.